It's Ruben Lawing. It is Tuesday here in McAllen, Texas, and I'm. I listened to the Builders Call today with their Scott Harrison was on there, and he was talking about what has done, and we're like the fifth largest uh, contributor to charity water, and we're coming up on like number three, right? And we're it's a well-known charity, world well just we're making a splash with charity water. How about that? And and I'm listening to Schwan Wynn, and and he's real excited, and but it comes across, you know, uh, just because of his tone of voice, his natural tone of voice. He has to tell you he's excited, otherwise you think he's mad. All right, but he's really excited about what's been happening, right? And then we have this, the ability with the technology to do so much more than we could ever do. And then I get a call from my son, and my son is one of the top salespeople for Tesla in Southern California. And I asked him, "What do you, what is it? What are you doing? How's it?" He goes, "Well," he says, I had him in youth Toastmasters when he was 12 years old. And then the other thing I would have him do is I would have him, and I think he was like 15 or 16, and I would have him setting up or doing my confirmation calls, right? If I invited somebody to a BPM, I'd have him call and do the confirmations. And I had a little script for him, right? And so now he just, it's part of his subconscious programming, right? And I'm like, wow, that's a real testimony. And then he got me to figure out that what difference between what we do and what a salesperson does. See, he's talking to people that come in the showroom to buy a Tesla, and his job is to help them do what they came there to do. Where with what we do, we're talking to people who don't even know that there's something like financial literacy, right? We're doing something totally different than any other financial services company does. We take people from A to Z with their finances, and anybody, not just somebody that has a lot of money already, right? We can help those people too, but we can help so many more that aren't being helped by anybody else, right? And what happens is we are fighting against their subconscious, okay? Because they'll come in and they get all excited after they, we first initially, do the 7-step for them, and then the next time you talk to them, they're not as excited. And what happens is they snap back to their norm. Okay, they're back to where they were, and you got to. That's why it's very important to get what it was that got them excited about to begin with. I remember the young guy that first approached me, going through the green flip chart, and he wouldn't pay any attention to what it was that got somebody excited. Was it the rule of 72, or was it the tax now, tax later, tax never? Was it the the cost of waiting? He didn't pay any attention to what it was that triggered somebody. Okay, and I'm like, oh, you need to pay attention to that. So, because people are gonna get turned on by different things, and you got to know what that is, because when you meet with them again and they've snapped back to their norm, you got to remember what it was that pulled them out of that, that got them excited. Okay, that got them to, what did they see that you know that that got them interested in the beginning. Okay, but nobody else. The only other people that do something similar to that is when you get them in, right? You get them in the church, right? Then you got to baptize them, right? And as a pastor, right? Pastors have to, yeah, they get some, they come and accept Christ, and they come to the altar call, and then what do they do, right? You got to keep them, you got to keep bringing them back, okay? Because they snap back to their norm. They snap back to so that's the similarity. Isn't that amazing? What I found, it's almost every pastor that I talk to about our business, they see the need for it. They all do, right? But they don't really want to get in, they resist getting into this because, they've got their own agenda they're focused on, right? But what else is it? There is nothing. Not teaching a kid how to ride a bicycle, how to jump rope, box, or college algebra. There's nothing you can teach somebody, right, that pays off like this. There is absolutely nothing else that you can teach somebody that is going to change their life the way that we do with the financial literacy, right? That says something. That's incredible. That's amazing. Okay, now if it's not God sent, I don't know what is, right? There's so much. There's so many verses in the Bible that talk about money and finance. It's amazing. The master and his three servants with the talents, right? The Luke 16, right? With the manager that was accused of being dishonest, right? There's so much in Scripture that pertains to money. It just makes sense. Really, really good books to read are Breaking the Power of Debt and Rapid Debt Reduction Strategies with John Avanzini. All right, he has a different take on paying off debt than Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey's like, put everything to the debt, right? And then once the debt's paid off, then start saving. Or John Avanzini will teach you the debt roll-down strategy, where you just figure out what your monthly debt services amount is every month, and if you have any extra $100 to $200, you put that to the payment of the smallest debt, and then you just pay your bills on time. Keep that debt service amount the same. If you make more money, you save that money. All right, and then at the same time you're paying down your debt, you're building your nest egg for retirement. That comes from John Avanzini. See, I'd done all that. That's what got me into the mortgage real estate business. Right? I was a debt management consultant. Every time I showed somebody how to get out of debt, they started looking at buying a house. And most of the people that were my customers, my clients, were people that I had to doctor up. They couldn't have got a loan anywhere else, but I helped them. I got them in the process, got them on a budget, right? Got them, helped find some areas where they could trim some expenses, all right? So now they weren't affecting their lifestyle drastically, and they had more money, and they could start saving that money and start building their reserves and their emergency fund, and then, getting protection, right? But I didn't, and then next thing I know, I'm getting into my house, but I knew they weren't going to make it to the promised land. Then when I saw this business, I'm like, oh, this takes it the next step, right? Now this is what I always knew when it came for asking for referrals. And you go and you do something for somebody to benefit them, and it's really easy to get a referral. Hey, do you know anybody else that I could help like this? And chances are they're gonna tell you somebody. So that's the magic of our business, okay? 'Cause that's how it goes. It's not really taking them so far out of their already existent subconscious programming. If they're good people, and you just help them, get on their plan for, their financial strategy in order, and get them on a plan to be able to retire with dignity. You don't think that they'll give you a referral for somebody else? That's the magic of it. It's not such a drastic transition, okay, with the people they already know, right? And it should be the same as a pastor of a church, right? Somebody that's saved, right, and they get excited. That excitement recruits. That excitement testifies. Do you understand me? So that's, Schwan Wynn getting excited. I'm glad he tells me he gets excited. Otherwise, I feel like I'm being scolded. But that's what makes sense, right? Oh, and I'm looking at, and then here I am, like, okay, what's the demographic I need to be talking to? All right. Well, here's what I know. We just talk to everybody, and if they're outside of the 28 to 48, make over $40,000 a year, own a house, got kids, right? If they're outside of that, then you ask for the referral for exactly who you're looking for. And if they're interested, they'll tell you. Okay? And if you're in that market, then it's that much easier. There's so many more reasons for someone to do it if they're in that market. If they're that 28 to 48, married, got kids, owns a house, makes over $40,000 a year, but they want to do more. Okay? You just go, but pay attention to what it is that gets them excited. All right, now I got myself all pumped up. I'm ready to make some more phone calls. Have a great night.